The film tells the story of a young man named Zach, who enters the U.S. Navy Training Center with the goal of becoming an officer. He is the son of a laborer who always dreamed of a military career, but life circumstances turned out differently. At first glance, Zach looks like a typical bully. He is stubborn, aggressive, and has a hard time tolerating discipline, but he also has internal conflicts. He really wants to change his life, but he doesn't know how to do it, because he is surrounded by problems that constantly distract him from his goal. When Zach arrives at the training center, he is met by strict officers, among whom the senior officer Philpott stands out. He clearly dislikes the new recruits and does everything he can to put them to the test. Zach immediately realizes that it will not be easy for him. During the first few days, he has to face harsh punishments, humiliation, and strict rules that he must abide by. He is surrounded by other recruits, among whom one can single out one such as Lindsay, who, although afraid, tries to hold his own and show character. He becomes Zach's friend and a strong friendship develops between them. Life at the training center requires Zach to not only be physically fit, but also to be able to work as part of a team. He faces challenges at every turn, and each new assignment becomes a test for him. In the moments when he has a hard time, he remembers his goals and dreams. However, he soon begins to realize that he can't do everything on his own, and he needs to learn to trust others and accept support. At this time, he meets a girl named Amy, who works in a factory near the training center. A romantic spark flares up between them, and Amy becomes a symbol for Zach of his hopes and dreams for a better life. Amy is a young woman who wants to start a family and find love. She finds in Zach the very spark she has been looking for. They spend a lot of time together, and soon Amy begins to believe in Zach despite his flaws. She sees potential in him and a man who can change her life. Their relationship becomes the main motif of the plot. Zach is attracted to Amy, but he also struggles with his inner demons. He cannot allow himself to fully open up as he constantly feels pressured by senior officers and his comrades. Zach tries to balance his commitments at the training center with his relationship with Amy, but soon finds himself having to make a choice. Tensions mount, and he soon faces a brutal challenge when his friendship with Lindsay is jeopardized. Lindsay, in turn, also has academic problems and begins to give up under pressure. These moments of friendship and betrayal help create a deep emotional connection between the characters. Zach realizes that he needs to become a true leader and protector, not just one of the new recruits. His internal conflicts become more intense, and he begins to struggle with his own weaknesses. Each new stage of training becomes more and more difficult for Zach. He faces physical and psychological challenges that make him doubt his own abilities. At one of the most difficult moments, Zach makes a mistake and finds himself on the verge of being expelled. This shocks him, and he realizes that his dream of becoming an officer is in jeopardy. Amy supports and inspires him, and through her he finds the strength to keep fighting. She reminds him of who he is and that he is capable of succeeding if only he believes in himself. Throughout the story, Zach goes through many challenges, and each one brings him closer to his goal. He learns to work as a team, overcomes physical and emotional obstacles, and realizes the importance of support and love. His relationship with Amy grows deeper and deeper, and they both begin to realize that they must support each other through difficult times. They do this despite external pressures and obstacles. Zach becomes one of the top of his class and is given the opportunity to take the final tests. It is a time of testing not only for him, but for all of his fellow students. They come together to show that they are not just recruits, but a real team. In the final trials, they face brutal conditions that test their mettle. Zach demonstrates his leadership skills and becomes an example to everyone. After many hardships and trials, Zach and his comrades successfully complete their training and are promoted to the rank of officers. It is a moment of triumph not only for Zach, but for everyone who has supported him along the way. Amy is waiting for him at the graduation ceremony, and their meeting becomes the climax of the story. This meeting symbolizes not only the end of a hard journey, but also the beginning of a new life. Zach realizes that his real strength lies not only in his physical fitness, but also in the support and love he received from Amy. Despite all the hardships, Zach was able to overcome himself and become a true officer and gentleman. This is not just a story about war and adversity. It is also a story about love, friendship, and inner growth. Zach and Amy become symbols of hope and inspiration to anyone who has ever faced adversity along the way. Zach realizes that his dream has come true, and now he is ready not only for service, but also for a new life with Amy, who has always been there for him when he needed it most.